classic war movies are not easy to make. From thousands of extras creating the ambience of an era, weapons, uniforms, storyline, these movies are meant to leave you stunned.
What's he doing?
I'm gonna die. I wanna die comfortable.
War movies is the most liked genre when it comes to Hollywood. Some war movies are based on history, while some can revolve around fictional stories. Here we enlist 10 epic war movies that you should watch before you die. Number 10. Apocalypse Now. Most critics considered this movie great because of its universal storyline and amazing representation of the Vietnam War. During the war, a young American captain is given the assignment to hunt down and kill one of his own colonel. The colonel has gone insane and has killed hundreds of innocent people. He has also built a small army and a kingdom for himself deep in the jungle. Williard, who is on the mission, boards on a journey to find Colonel Kurtz. The story is amazing and you should watch the movie because it is inspired by the book of Joseph Conrad. The name of the book is Heart of Darkness, and it is written about the collapse of a man into madness who goes into the jungle.
Officer here.
Ain't you?
He was close. He was real close. I couldn't see him, but I could feel him.
Number 9. The Hurt Locker. The movie is directed by Catherine Bigelow and has won the 82nd Best Picture Award in 2008. The Hurt Locker is a war thriller movie about an army bomb disposal team sent to Iraq. After the death of the staff sergeant in Iraq, a new sergeant, James, takes over a highly trained bomb disposal team. But he's ruthless and plunges the two subordinates, Sanborn and Eldridge, into a deadly game of urban combat. The two subordinates struggle to control their wild staff sergeant. On the other side, the city bursts into chaos. Later, during the evacuation of the team is evacuating from Iraq, Lieutenant Colonel is killed in a bomb explosion.
And you deal with it.
Number 8. Das Boot. The movie Das Boot, which was originally released in 1981, is based on the true story of a German submarine and the crew during World War II. It depicts a horrific and detailed look at the war situation in a U-boat. In 1942, when the German Navy U-boats were involved in the Battle of the Atlantic to annoy and destroy British ships. But German U-boats faced heavy loss due to better guarding and aid on the British side. Das Boot is the story of one of these U-boat crew. The film has explained how these submarines sustained their professionalism as soldiers and attempted to complete impossible missions. Amazing, right? But it's not the end. Keep watching to find out amazing war movies of all time.
What was the greatest economic engine ever discovered? War makes money, and money makes war.
Named Fritz Nyland during World War II. The character is played by Matt Damon. Number 6. Schindler's List. Schindler's List is based on the 1982 non-fiction novel Schindler's Ark by an Australian novelist, Thomas Keneally. The film represents a German industrialist, Oskar Schindler. He saved more than 1,000 Jews from the killing by the German forces. He saves them by employing them in his factories during World War II. The businessman actually arrives in Krakow to make his fortune from World War II, which has just started. He staffs his companies with Jewish workers for his benefit. But the industrialist Oskar Schindler becomes concerned for his Jewish workforce after seeing genocide by the Nazis.
The list is alive. All around, its margins rise the cup.
Number 5. Dunkirk. We all know that Christopher Nolan always makes hit movies. Made by Christopher Nolan, Dunkirk is a different and splendid war movie that you should watch because the story is presented as seen through the eyes of a soldier who is trapped by the forces. The story shows the advancement of German forces into France, and they trap the Allied troops on the beaches of Dunkirk. The mission was the evacuation of the British and French forces from the beaches because there was no other option, because Germans have air superiority. 400,000 British and French soldiers were trapped by the Germans, out of which 330,000 were successfully evacuated. If you're with us till now, you know what's coming next will be worth your time. Don't miss out on number 1 on our list. Number 4. Patton. The movie Patton is actually a biography of a US general in World War II. The film covers the wartime activities and actions of General George S. Patton. The story begins with his entry into the North African campaign and ends with his suspension from the command after his controversial behavior and criticism of US war military strategy. You will love the forceful personality of the military legend General George S. Patton, amazingly conveyed by George C. Scott in this biopic. The character nicely represented the outspoken and always controversial nature of the general.
If they followed my plan, I'd be there by now. I'd cut off the retreat of every damn German battalion on this island.
Number 3, 1917. This movie is truly worth watching and an amazing story of the director's grandfather Alfred H. Mendes. During World War I, he served in the British Army. The story shows that during World War I, 2 British soldiers receive impossible orders. They have to cross and enter the enemy territory and deliver a message. The message was very important because it could potentially save their 1,600 comrades. These comrades also included the brother of one of the 2 soldiers carrying the message. 1917 essentially did for World War I what Saving Private Ryan did for World War II. The movie provides an amazing depiction of the horrors of war for viewers.
If you don't get there in time, we will lose 1,600 men.
Number 2, Inglourious Basterds. You must watch this movie because it is a masterpiece due to its unique war story. The story has 2 main representations. One is based on the American soldier and the other is the Jew woman. During World War II, a group of American soldiers are sent into Europe to kill the Nazis. They perform their job so well that the Germans call them the Bastards. Later, they work with a British officer on a plan to kill higher-ranked German officers. Meanwhile, a woman wants to take revenge for the death of her family from a German officer, and she has her own plans.
Sound good? Yes, sir!
Number 1, Platoon. Everyone knows that Oliver Stone is a notable and famous American screenwriter and director. The movie Platoon is based on Oliver Stone's own Vietnam War experience. Stone's movie Platoon is known as the first Vietnam film made by a real-life veteran of the war. The movie presents a young boy, Chris Taylor, a naive American who gives up college and volunteers for combat in Vietnam. When he reaches the battle area, he quickly discovers that his presence is not necessary and non-essential. Chris then draws towards a psychological breakdown, and as he fights for survival, he realizes that he is fighting 2 battles: the battle with the enemy and the conflict with the man in his platoon. Don't forget to like and subscribe to watch more videos like this. Which war movie do you like the most? Let us know in the comment section.